Buonasera in Treviso. Good evening, everyone. The New Year's resolutions have been cast aside. The long month of January is behind us. And it's that time of year that allows all of us rugby fans, well, we have been patiently waiting for it. It is at the start of the 2023 Six Nations and the start of a busy few weeks that all gets underway tonight with the start of the Under-20s Championship. Welcome to the Stadio di Monaco, the home of Benetton Rugby. Club sat 7th in the United Rugby Championship, but tonight and for their 3 home fixtures, it'll be where the Italy Under-20s reside as they look to get their campaign off to a flyer with their first match against visitors France. Italy, 4th place finishers last year, albeit level on points in the table with England, take on France, runners-up to champions Ireland in 2022. Wales will host Ireland in Colwyn Bay. Big Celtic clash between those two, and Alan Dickin's England side running out to face Scotland, who finished bottom of the pile last year. All of the Under-20s fixtures based on Friday nights for the first 4 rounds of the championship to provide some continuity. You'll know exactly where to find us. The first time that this match has been on Italian soil for 4 years, with France comfortable winners in the reverse fixture in Mont-de-Marsan 12 months ago. Delighted to say that former England and British and Irish Lions scrum half Dowie Morris joins us in Treviso. And well, Dowie, we'll go through the lineups in a minute, but we've got a few more familiar faces in this Italy team than we have in the 23 for France. What does last year's form tell us, if anything?
Well, hopefully a little bit of consistency for them. They've got 5 guys that have experienced that, and they won 3 games in last year's Under-20s. I remember the victory down here against England, particularly when they absolutely went for them, went for the throat, both in the scrum and the line, and really put England off their play. They are a passionate bunch, and equally France on the other side. You know, they are reigning world champions, even though we haven't had that for a couple of years.
Will be coming this summer in South Africa, likely to be played plenty of it around Stellenbosch, those areas where rugby is well known.
A bit warmer than tonight then.
I expect it will be. But that will also focus the minds. Obviously the rivalry across the Six Nations is what tonight is all about, but it also for these players suggests that for the first time in a little while there's a little more longevity to their Under-20s commitments.
Absolutely. You know, you're both France and Italy are building at senior level. France the challenge for a World Cup, this year, and Italy to be competitive in the Six Nation and World Rugby. These Under-20s will have a part to play for each of the countries on their pathway to senior rugby.
Well, Italy, coached by Massimo Brunello, had a couple of friendlies to get themselves together. One in December against Ireland, which they won. Another in January against their opponents today, which they lost. 9 of the Italian starters this evening played that day. 12 in total from France. 6 starting, 6 from the bench. 2 teams come out to take their places. The thermals are on. The crowds are coming in out of the hospitality suites and out of the warmer rooms to get their places in the stands. Plenty of family and friends in to cheer on the Under-20s charges. The scene is set as we await the anthems. certainly feeling it, aren't they? Let's have a look at the teams then. Italy, a side featuring 5 players in the starting lineup who tasted under-20 Six Nations action last year. 365 kilograms of Italian beef in that front row, including captain Giovanni Quattrini, former Wasps man, Teresi in the second row, Berlesi Odiaze hangers-on from last year. Giovanni Sante played in all 5 matches last year. Batara is the fresh face at 9. Dawi Passarella, the local lad who started all 5 last year. A couple of URC appearances with Benetton. Carlo May at fullback, another rising star who lit things up last year. As for France, well, it feels like a full revolution of their under-20s programme. A raft of new faces for the 23 edition. Massa, Gambini, Leo Fo all had a good look at Italy in their January friendly, while Joani and Castro Ferreira, a Toulouse pair to watch. Out wide, captain Nicolas Deporteo creates a Bordeaux-Lyon centre pairing with Materon and Pose. Theo Atisogbe is at fullback, a man with a nose for space, having spent his time on the Sevens circuit. Our referee for this one is just taking place. Just to run you through the replacements, Gasparini, one of the 6 Italians who plays their rugby in France, while we were expecting to see Simatoga on the bench, but he's the only player remaining from the fixture last year, but he's a late withdrawal. Maino Pakihivatau coming in. Ruben Keane, the man from Australia, who has travelled a fair way round, Dowie Morris, to get himself ready for this one.
He is, but I think we're going to have a fantastic game on our hands tonight. A very passionate Italian side. First hit out against France. Like I said, reigning world champions, but we haven't played that for a couple of 3 years. But Ireland are the Grand Slam champions. We're in for a treat, I am absolutely sure.
Italy then are set to kick things off. They are the ones playing in the white.
Come on.
France in the blue. The stars of tomorrow given their time to shine today. 2023 under-26 Nations is underway. It's an excellent first clearance.
Yes. Exit, I think it's called, Nick, isn't it? That was very, very well. The coaches will be happy about that. Bit of a wayward kick-off, really. And nothing kick-off from Italy. I always liked to put it up there in front of the forward so they can rip into the opposition straight away, but it wasn't to be, and they find themselves right back on the halfway. But again, set piece key for both sides, but especially Italy. If Italy are going to come away with a win, they have to dominate both line-out and scrum.
Well, the first line-out has gone precisely to plan. Good one to settle the nerves for the skipper Quattrini. Almost a dummy carry from Aminu.
Batara, the scrum half, caught up in that wreck there, so they've got to start again.
Oh, it's a nice little line here, an immediate break. We saw Carlo May showing what he could do last year, but guilty of holding on as the French get themselves into a good position for the turnover.
Well, there was going to be a battle at fullback, May and Atizobi from France, but again, May's the first one really to make an impact. I think that's slightly harsh from the referee there. All the momentum was with Italy, and he did have a chance to play that ball. I think that's a bit panicky, really, but that's a great start, isn't it? Just a one off the line out movement there into the midfield, coming back, and really was through on a break.
Maël Moustin, the man who got himself in the position to win the penalty. Now it will be Barnabé Massa, the Grenoble hooker. Played in the under-18s, but it's gone the way of Italy.
Knock-on advantage.
Or in fact came off an Italian hand. So option here for Simon Tarel to play.
No
but
advantage, knock-on.
All is not coming quick enough.
But they did put a lot of pressure and a lot of heat going into that Italian line-out. Slightly got it wrong, but you can see they're jumping at the back. Risky throw, the easier throws at 2 ball just to take it and drive. But again, that's the way in style France want to play with the ball. With the scrum half sweeping the line out, getting into the midfield. The likes of Matt Renan and Mustar want the ball there. Deporteri, the captain, as well. They're pretty live wires, so let's see how the first scrum goes, shall we?
Indeed. The Italian front row, about 20 kilograms heavier across the board than the French 3 opposite them.
Set!
Tarel, Provence scrum half. Has a little look across the face. Now France are going to be able to release this. Moustin did well to come across. Ball a little loose. Just struggling to achieve the continuity at the minute. In the opening few seconds, there may be a few cold fingers out there.
There is a few cold fingers. They have a very good warm-up, but again, it's just not going to plan at the moment. France trying to go wide early on, but again, it's good intent. But again, the crowd enjoying that. Good defence. Defence is important as attack. Obviously, it's that rounded game plan both sides need. Matrudon trying to cause problems in the midfield. The ball slightly behind him. But again, now this is the first Italian scrum. Went pretty well against the French put-in. Let's see what they do on their own.
Crouch!
Sebastiano Battara into partner Sante. Scrum half
Bind!
plays at Mogliano. He was on the bench for the friendly against France in January. Italy beating Ireland in December in an under-20s warm-up. 47-50 was the result there. So fairly decent advert for under-20s rugby with nearly 100 points scored.
Didn't they play France as well?
They certainly did. And
something in the back of my mind's telling me something.
It was the French who came out on top of that one.
It's good playing friendly. Well, they won't be friendly, but you know exactly what I mean. That's how important they take this under-20s. And it's nice to see. I know we got banged on about, but nice is the World Cup back, isn't it? In South Africa in the summer. It's great. This tournament happens every year. Whoa, they'll be happy with that kind of pen. They'll be happy with that. Oh, easy, boys. Easy.
So keen to exert their dominance.
Number 1. Collapsing.
Well, he just starts putting that little bit of doubt into the referee. Well, look at these boys. They're going forward. He's given the penalty.
Number 1
I'll be having a word with the referee. Look, sir, they can't keep the power up. Look at him. He's bridging, and the French side's going down first. All these little pluses adds up to the domination of the game.
Last year was France's biggest win in 5 years against Italy, 41 points to 15 at the Stade Guy Boniface Stadium Mont-de-Marsan. But
they beat him in every aspect, and I did a few notes. They did 12 offloads to 1, 5 line breaks to 1, 13 defenders beaten to 4, and Italy missing 13 tackles doesn't help. So yeah, they got well dusted that night.
Italy will hope to turn a couple of these positive moments at the start of this match into a little more. Is there the chance of the turnover though, or was it knocked on? It is going to be a knock-on advantage, and in fact now a penalty.
Second
goes
go.
against Lenny Nucci. Montpellier man.
Shot.
Found himself right on the Italian side there. He may be a little familiar with the Italian fly half because they both play at Montpellier together.
Well, it was Nucci.
Well,
Again, it wasn't
indicated for the post, yes.
He was asking, I think, the referee, what should I do? And unfortunately, he did the wrong thing, gave a penalty away. And so they'll be going for 3 here. It's almost right in front of the poles, long way out. But again, the conditions are superb. And Passarella taking the ball in good. He's over as the referee saying, not quite sure, takes the man off the ball. Yeah, there's the penalty. And a good start from Italy. You've got to say they deserve it.
Lovely moments in an under-20s game. The penalty was awarded, and I think probably 9 out of the 15 bodies on the field all looked to the touchline for the decision. It's still an area where assuming the decision-making on the field isn't quite yet taking place.
Well, you should see it at the toss-up before, because no one can make a decision. They're all looking at, what should we do at the game? It doesn't matter. There is no wind out there. There's a little bit of dew on the ground. It's been slightly sunny today, but obviously this was due to come in. It's cold, but it's perfect conditions, so it doesn't really matter. Left or right, right or left.
Oh, a kick just comes down off the upright. Who's going to be the first to react? Italy have managed to get themselves there, and now they're calling for the ball out wide, but not entirely sure it's going to go.
They don't want it held up, though. They don't want it held up.
Time off, please.
Referee has called time off, so I wonder if it's going to be Ian Tempest called into the action, our TMO.
Please.
Come on, Tempo, the new Brighton man.
Just confirm grounding form.
Got to confirm the grounding. Again, if you get held up in there, it would be a kick out from the defending side. One of the new rules to France, so we'll wait on that decision.
David Odiaze was certainly one of those in there
always chase the kicks. That's again something that all youngsters, well, any rugby player watching, you know, it was a fantastic kick, slightly to the left, hit the post.
Just waiting on angle.
And I think, was it Batara, the scrum half, was up there. There's a little live wire to check on the replays, but he was the guy that jumped in the air, set the ruck up, and then it was just going to be a hammer ball. They weren't going to pass that out to the backs. First move to the right, and we will see.
Alessandro Jesi, the 14, was screaming for it down on the right. he was screaming for all his money.
He wasn't going to get it, mate. These boys in front are going, no, 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 no. And that was the first drive there, and that's down. That ball is down. You can just, if you go back a little clip before.
Okay, Ruben, stick
I
with
would
your
suggest, as long as you can tell that that's over the line, I think we're going to get a try. Yes, we are.
Oh, what a start from Italy then. That will do just the job. Springing about on their toes, they're pleased with that. A first real foray into the France 22. And the try has been scored. Carlos Berlesi, the man who managed to smuggle over from close range. The conversion added. Italy leading France after 8 minutes by 7 points to 0.
And that's a good advert for not absolutely losing your head. Just calm down. They had a fortune of the ball going off the post. It was recycled, and then literally the first movement of the ball goes out to the big forward, Berlesi, and they get the score. And what a start here. What a start.
They do well to hold the French defence off as Odiaze claims the restart.
Use it.
Moyen man who started against France last year. One of 5 of the starters in this Italian team.
Okay.
Plays his rugby in France. Caterpillar ruck is in full force.
Are they trying to get rid of that?
And they've called the ball out. The bind had already been lifted, so France are able to make the most of this. And they're queuing up to try and come round the corner. Terrell looks to try and get this away as Raffi looks to find room as well. Matteron needs to try and straighten. Did the job that was asked of him. Back in from Tyrrell. A fan with the carry. Little juggle of the ball from Deporter. Liu Fu uses the footwork just to change, but they wanted to go the same way. The call was loud from Barnabé Massard, and he does take some stopping.
Release!
The numbers were the other side, it's fair to say, and in fact, Italy looked to turn it over, but the referee has other ideas.
Must release.
Saying the tackle and must release, but that's again, and I'm all for that actually, because it takes seconds out of the game from the scrum half setting up the snake or the train or whatever you want to call it. Remember, Etzebeth scoring a try, wasn't it, against Joe Marler, because again, you've got to be bound, you've got to have your shoulder down there, and as long as the referees talk to the teams about it, fine, get on with it. It just slows the game up. If you want a box kick, don't take 30 seconds to do it.
Yeah, Danny Kerr and Joe Marler were certainly found wanting that day, and well, referee was right on the spot to say that ball is out, and Ruben Keane said no. France are able to get on top of it, and that quick thinking, that awareness has ultimately given them this position.
Well, it'll speed the game up, and that's what we're looking to. I know World Rugby are making different slight rule changes into certain things, and that's one of them. So yeah, people have paid to see a good game of rugby, a fast game of rugby. Let's have it. Kicking is important, but you can mend the two.
Simon Torel, scrum half, no problem from that sort of distance. Was on the bench against Scotland, Wales and England in last year's under-20s. He played in the Summer Series in July as well. Gets France onto the board. 7-3.
And it's all about getting the 22 and coming away with points, isn't it? That's what you've got to do.
Thank you.
5-7-3 doesn't really matter. Just keep that scoreboard going your way.
Italy will be frustrated. It's almost a sort of unforced error, that, isn't it? It's an inaccuracy that gave France the opportunity for those points.
Okay, use it.
Terrell. May.
He's bulked up a bit since last year.
A bit more hair too.
Yeah.
Italy look to go down the same channel. Now they release it out the back. Almost a suggestion of a slightly late hit on Giovanni Sante, but really managing to find a way through. Alex Mattioli has proved himself to find some decent footwork just to make that extra metre or two, really try and put Italy on the front foot. Batara wants to get quick service away again. Sante was going to be the option. He didn't have much room there. There was Modiase and Teresi queuing up. Perhaps just need a little bit more depth as Bozzo steps in, the inside centre, to look after the distribution that time. Up to the 10-metre line. Meters are slowly being made. Someone's lost a boot. Attempted little chip through. Just checking to see whether there wasn't an advantage signal that I missed.
No, that was a bad. I think that's Sante trying to put the ball through there. That was never going to happen.
Just wasn't on, was it?
No.
Slowing down here, Nicola Bozzo. Perpignan inside centre is just
hold.
Getting in to help with the distribution. This is coming down. Oh, it was just the whisker inside the 22, but the Italian fans are trying to suggest it may have been otherwise.
Can you have something less than a whisker? Because that's basically what it was. It's a very good call. Very good call.
Half a whisker.
Yeah, well, there you go then.
I think Arthur Whisker was in films in the 1940s, but anyway. We shall continue. Ball goes into the air from Carlo May, and there's two following up. They do just enough to allow Atisogbe, the toe fullback, back to his feet. Timing was crucial.
Hold.
Then it's away from Raffi. Straight downfield as Jay-Z gets his hands on it. Was at fullback in that friendly in January. Oh, now where's that going to go? That is a super kick. But Tom Raffi is not going to hang around and will look inside for Atisogbe.
Stop!
Players being encouraged to stop in the middle. That is going all the way.
I think that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't forget, it's not a 22 if he touches it down, so it's a law encouraged to encourage players to play from inside their 22. And if you're France, you'd be pretty pleased with the net result there, because although the kick was long, you've actually got a line out 30 metres from the line.
Now they'd be delighted with that. This time's when you have to kick, because again you can see Italy trying to put the ball through hands, but they weren't asking that many questions. I think you mentioned it in commentary there. France had just put in the opposite numbers up against them, and they weren't going to. So they go to the aerial route, and France have won that hands down. They've won about 40 metres on that. Now can they convert it with the line out?
Massa credits his brother with getting him into rugby.
That's forwards anyway.
It's come forwards twice off France there.
There's a knock on there by White. We'll play the first advantage forward pass by Blue.
See, this is something again when you've got big guys trying to carry the ball. Your trigger comes from your scrum half basically, or the guy that's making that decision. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. That's hence why the forward pass has to, goes forward, because again they're overrunning. Wait for the guy that's got the ball to make that decision, and then you go. Frustrating for coaches. Again, they'll have practiced that hundreds of times, but just hold back. It's difficult. I know it's only 15 minutes into the game. They're keen. They've got a good field position, but they've just botched that up.
Voice of former England and British and Irish Lions scrum half Dowie Morris.
Crouch!
Up at the back of the gantry as we are.
Bind!
The Stadio di Monaco.
Set!
As the steam rises from the scrum. Referee's just going to have to reset this one.
It's completely slipped, OK? We'll reset. Completely slipped, we'll reset.
We were having a little closer look at the surface when we were pitch side earlier, weren't we, Dowie? It's there's not a whole lot of grass there.
No, but you want your big studs in. That's you can see they're just struggling a little bit.
Both of you, hide up.
But again, there's not a problem. He's not cutting up, drastically. So actually, it's almost perfect scrummaging position. There's just a lot of weight going in, and with Italy winning that, winning that penalty at the last scrum, France want to say, right, hold on a second, we're not bad here. We're not the culprits. They're trying to do a big hit, obviously, against the Azzurri Blue.
Bind!
Italy have just lost once in the last 6 matches. in terms of official games, having beaten England and Scotland in the under-20 Summer Series, having done a number on them in the Six Nations under-20 themselves. Did really well to find the ball into that wide channel and look for Matthias Douglas in the academy here at Benetton. .6'6" form of Alex Mattioli. Told he's got a hell of an engine in him. He's going to need one with the amount of carrying he's being asked to do.
No advantage.
There was an advantage being played.
Well, that's the second pen against France in the scrum.
Number 1 collapsing.
Number 1 collapsing. So, Paru.
Number 1 collapse.
Pronounced that correctly, Yvonne?
Yeah,
You're very good at this. I'm not. Paru.
Hugo Paru.
There we go. The loose head. He's just basically they're trying to go forward, and again, I'm no expert, but you would say that Italy are trying to move that scrum forward. It's now in the referee's mind, and they will just kick the touch and go from there.
Number 1 collapse.
Just building the momentum, building the pieces, aren't they? Don't panic, you know. 7-3, we haven't been down in 22. What is it? Once they've got 7, you've got that try, which is good. The line-out seems to be going well. Scrum definitely going well.
Now.
Crowd started going.
There is no doubt that the connection to the senior side and some of the rugby they were showing in the senior championship last year
Not straight.
is also trickling down to the excitement around Italian
Not
rugby.
straight.
It has to be. I mean, they've underachieved. Come on, you know, they beat Wales. That was, you know, it's well been documented. It was a phenomenal score at the end of the death. But prior to that, they haven't. This one's not straight. So again, just talking up the Italian line out, and they've just let me down. But yeah, they have to. You know, Italy rugby, as I said, you know, France are in rude health. The senior squad is flying. The top 14 is fantastic. The Pro de Deux, even the third division, I think, is televised throughout.
Feet up, okay.
So they're fine. Italy need
Yes.
this youth and intensity to come through, and that's not going to hurt them at all. It's 66% possession, so they've just got to build on that. And this is where it's come from. You're not going to have a silver bullet. There's no massive silver bullet that's going to change Italian rugby. You've got to start from the bottom up. You've got to start with the youth.
Set. Balls at the back.
Referee, I think, is happy enough for that to go on.
If he gave a penalty for the last time, he could have given a penalty there.
Jersey. Infield for Carlo May. France will know all about the danger he is. He's decided to absorb both tackles. He actually might have done just enough to create the space for Douglas on the outside, but that will do. It's a solid carry into the tackles from Odiaze. Attempted rip, not successful enough, but will be the penalty.
Again, slightly isolated, and I think it was Massa. Is it the hooker? Or is it? But it is Massa, the hooker. He gets over there, and that's what happens. The further you move away from your sort of core forwards, the easier it is for the opposition to turn you over, because again, your support can't get to you as quick. So then, you know, you're not allowed to control that ball. As soon as you hit the floor, you have to present it. And that's what happens. The speed of the ruck is so important.
France then patiently choosing their opportunities, managing to win penalties, and Terrell.
Such a French thing, isn't it? Scrum halves kicking for goal, kicking pens.
Chance to double the French tally. Flags are raised. Italy's lead cut to a single point.
Yeah, lovely swing of the boots, not a problem. Slight strap in there, but I don't think it's that isn't through injury. I'm sure that's just to help him with the boot, but he doesn't need that much help. That was dead-eye Dexter straight through the middle, so we've calmed down a little bit. 20 minutes, first quarter gone. You can see both sides probably be quite happy navigating that. Obviously, France leaking that one try.
Oh. Knocked on. And Italy aren't going to hang around and wait for the advantage. Odiaze then with the quick pick and into the 22. Come the home side. Oh, and then it goes forwards.
Knock on by white there. We'll come for the first one by blue. Knock on.
That's a nightmare for, I think, is it Muster? The wing was just left in no man's land.
It was Ben McGall.
Big forward goes up in front of him and says, nope, I'm not having that now. Thanks very much. You got a less than a split second.
I understand it's slippery. Bring the height up. Okay?
Ben McGall's nickname is apparently La Big Zoz. Compared to the men largely in front of him, he wasn't entirely big there.
Scrum time again.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Advantage.
Another penalty advantage. French cannot live with the Italians at scrum time at the minute, and they're going to try and find some width. It might end up being a little bounce pass to find Jay-Z, who's looking to get away from Atisogbe, who did just enough.
No advantage. We'll come back for the penalty.
That's 3 pens now. I think the French coaching forwards coach is going to have a look at this. He's going to have to do something. Bringing one of the beasts off the bench, because again, it's only going one way at the moment, and that's one way of sorting or trying to sort it, or saying to the referee, look, we're doing something. We don't agree with the decisions because no one will do. But Italy were on a free play there, going wide, sorry. And actually being a bit wild really with the presentation of the ball, didn't make the most of that, but the decision's made, pump it into the corner.
On the line. Yeah, on the line. Okay.
Chance for Italy to try and engage from the catch. It's a good initial drive back from the French. It's with the skipper Quattrini, and now he's cracking the whip at the back of the ball.
That's a penalty try.
There's another penalty being awarded. They might go through the hands and have a crack at it here. Is there room to try and free them? Oh, it's a nice attempted inside line from Jay-Z. The ball is loose. They will still be under that penalty advantage.
Use it.
Another chance to try and pick and go. As they will.
New advantage.
Odiaze goes. There's another penalty for offside against France, and they are giving them away like sweets at the minute. As Italy twist and turn their way through. Look to come back towards the near side and crash their way over. Is it Mattioli?
Sorry. I haven't seen a grounding. Time off.
Referee says he's not seen a grounding. It's going to be another.
Thank you.
Listen in. He doesn't. Just gone to the touch. Sorry, Nick.
You're absolutely right. Assistant referee, happy to say, and I have to say, a fan of that sort of officiating. We don't need to go upstairs. I've had a good enough view of it. Try's been scored. Now we can have the benefit of the replay.
We can. It's just one against two, and the power of the one wins. Yeah, there's no problem with that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, number one.
It's Gallerini. Mattioli was in and around, making sure that he kept an eye on things, but it's the Unione Rugby Capitolina prop who gets over.
Well, you've got to say they did a very good catch and drive from the line out, and France committed. They're actually lucky they're not down to 14 guys, because the guy professionally fouled come in, and I think they would have gone over that line, and that was led by the captain, Quattrini. Oh, he's missed that to the right, but again, from the line out, they were going forward, so I think the referee was looking for Italy to get some kind of score, so you didn't have to make that decision.
Okay.
But you can go back. Facets of play, and again, you've got to say France really aren't down quick enough. They're not low enough there. One guy against two, that should not happen. But it's a hammer ball and a hammer blow for France.
He is 135 kilograms, Marcos Francesco Gallerini.
Use it.
Don't fancy stopping that myself.
Now, this is where Italy need to be a little bit cute. Don't try and play for everywhere, from everywhere. Don't play, you know, into France's hands. You've just scored, just exit well.
Once again, looking to get over that rut, just as you say that, Dowie, trying to win that penalty.
Okay.
Ultimately
Use
begin
it now,
to chalk
White.
off that score at the other end.
We're outside.
Kick's gone up, was outside the 22, as you heard the referee say. Oh, it had to be quite the clutch from the air. Atisogbe nearly got it wrong, but he's wriggled away from the first tackle, gets to his feet a second time.
He's done well, isn't he? He's looking for his forwards there.
Terrell with the kick over the top. Douglas is looking to try and shrug off his opposite man. This time from inside the 22. 5 back.
Stop, White.
Clearance will be from May.
That's the right thing to do. Take the heat out again, the heat out of the game. Just scored a game.
Time off,
And
please.
this is, as I said,
Substitutions, one
Peru,
point.
It's
Peru's
Shepherd's
off.
Crook time, isn't
Well,
it?
you have to be seen to do something to get into the referee's head. Correctly so, he's given away 3 pens. He's deemed that, you know, the loose head can't
Sub,
hold the
number
power,
one, blue
Peru,
sub.
so they've made a sub. There you go.
Thank you, he's coming now.
Well, Louis Panverne is going to be the man who comes on, an unused sub against Ireland in the under-20s last year. He will make his bow this year, and well, you have to feel a little for Hugo Peru. He has not quite been at the races at scrum time. Will be fascinating to see. And
Time on, please.
it's got to be an invitation now for Gallerini to say, all right, well, you change one of them and I'll have a go at the new chap as well. So the next scrum will be fascinating. Don't take your eyes off this one. Oh, it's a really good bust straight up the middle. France with Liu Fu.
Advantage.
Terrell looking for a bit of guidance on where he wants to go, and then Deporter. Oh, they managed to find a bit of room. It's an electric finish from Moustin. Super opportunism from the French. Gliding into the wider channels, and Moustin, the Bordeaux-Bègles winger, beautifully put away from his skipper.
Well, that's how you do it, isn't it? You just give the forwards some direction and just basically play one-out rugby. You thought they were under a little bit pressure from that line out.
Thank you.
Italy were hitting him hard. Then I think it was Nuchet, was it the Montpellier, number 7, when he's built like an 8 in a sense that he's just so quick and so powerful. Gives them the front foot, and then it's one or two other crashes. I think Gombini was in the act, and then it's just a simple ball, moving the ball to the left. And lo and behold, another try. We've got a good game here.
Just down below us as Terrell waits to take the kick. The rest of the pack are just gathered around one of the coaches. Slow breaths in and slow breaths out. Looks like a little meditation session just by the side of the pitch.
You guys come through with space. Beautiful.
Terrell waits to put France into the lead for the first time. Certainly took his time over it, wanted to be sure, and he is. Italy 12, France 13.
Game on, half an hour. This is the way, and it's just a simple move, isn't it? There's just move the ball through, popping the ball out. Deporter, the captain, making the space really for the absolute flyer. Musta, you'll delight in that. But again, it was set up by the forwards. The call came, good decision from Terrell, the scrum half, to move it from right to left, and they're in the lead.
Atisogbe. There's a brown belt in judo as well as the sevens feet.
Use it now.
And he keeps running at the forward, so he's quite comfortable with his size.
Fancies it.
Yeah. Bring it on, I think, is his mantra.
In for Odiaze. Oh, it's a really solid carry from Odiaze, and he was joined by his forwards. Been able to play it back as well. Ended up being a dummy run from Gallerini, and then it's Destiny Aminu takes the ball. Nigerian-born prop who came through the Italy age grades. Another one of those in the Benetton Academy, used to playing in these parts. Away from Batara. There for Sante. More depth. France comes shooting up with Materon. Well, they have managed to get the offload away. That's nice from Bozzo, who bounces through the tackle. Support is there from Berlesi, one of the try scorers for Italy. And then it's Aminu arriving at pace. It's good again from Italy.
Advantage, high tackle.
Now then, an advantage for the high tackle as Batara finds himself under pressure. Gallerini's going to pick.
That big lad Nushi again. This time he couldn't keep his arms down, so they're actually on a free play.
The crowd know it as well. It's not quite going to open up for Carlo May. Haven't seen too much of the running game from Giovanni Sante. He does like to offer that. He's been well closed down. Tackle comes in from Liu Fu.
No advantage.
Another one who plays his rugby at Po. It's also the guitar player of the group, so
Number 7, high tackle.
that handy for
You're
the
a
post-match.
fountain of knowledge, yeah.
Fountain
A fountain even. That's what
7
fountain,
blue, high
wasn't it?
tackle.
The fountain.
Is that French?
I've been in Italy for too long. But again, the referee was playing a free there in a sense. Nushi, again, I like him because he's a big, robust 7. My word, but he got his arm up a little bit too high. Swinging arm. And again, I think this is the right decision. Italian line-out going well. I think they've missed just one. The scrum's going well, pumping in the corner. 8 minutes, 7 minutes to go. Again, they're just having a nice mixture. Good balance of forwards and backs taking the ball in. And now this would be interesting to get a score just before half-time.
In.
Quattrini, one of those in the Zebre Academy.
That's set well.
They were pinged for one not straight earlier, but that's done the business, and now they engage, and now they're going towards the line. Oh, it's superb from Italy. The forwards are enjoying themselves in Treviso. Absolutely nothing wrong with what's going on in the engine room, is there?
Oh, mate, that's just perfect. It was set absolutely brilliantly. Again, if you go for the try, you got to nail it. So many sides, they just get held up and do. No, this was absolutely tremendous intent. Just went straight for the kill. Absolutely brilliant indeed.
Matteo Rubinato, the man to dot it down.
Awesome.
He was born and raised round here. That will put a smile on his face.
Well, from my recollection, that's 3 tries. So they're one away for a bonus point anyway. But there's loads of rugby to be played in this. Seesaw match. Great intent from both sides. Again, using the big battering ram forwards. And then Guile at the backs. And he's pushed it out to the right again.
The radar is slightly hanging right for Giovanni Sante. At 17 points in last year's competition with scores against Scotland and Wales.
And again, it was set well, and allowed they put the power on. It's you can see everybody celebrating because they do that 100 times when they're together. Catch, drive, and do it. It's not as easy as it looks, but they have made that look easy.
Italy back in front then, 17-13.
Some more.
Dawi Morris absolutely spot on. We do have a game.
You could sense that from the warm-up, couldn't you? The Italian forwards absolutely round in a circle. Everything they were doing, hitting the bags, live scrummaging sessions. They were really up for it.
Okay, use it now.
France have won all 15 under-20s matches against Italy previously, but the last 2 in Italy were wins by 5 or fewer. Is there something on the cards for the Azzurri?
Stop, Blue, wait!
Straight down the neck of Carlo May, and we know how much he loves to run, and they momentarily did misjudge how quick he was. Arthur Materon had a lot of work to do to suddenly get on his bike and track him down. There's a lot to like about this Italy outfit. They've got the big grunt to the forwards when the likes of Odiaze comes carrying around the corner.
That's a pen. That's when you've got to be cute. It's all well and good to run the ball, whatever. You've got to get protection there. France were just waiting. Again, they just superb over the ball. He's at the hooker again. Massa, I think, just waited to half a second. That's all it is. You move the ball out there and you're half a second. And all that good work goes to nothing. That was from the restart. Good play from Italy. Everyone's been called in there. Just keep the ball, plod it forward. But the result, 30 seconds on, is turnover ball, and France go again.
To the tail they go.
Still moving.
Under the clutches of Massa. It is still thundering forwards and into the Italian 22. This is a great run. It might be with Lomic Joanni now as they break. Terrell having to dig to try and use it. Little wider from Matteron. Have they managed to find their way through again? Oh, it looked like it was going to be Moustin initially. He was allowed to get back to his feet as not held. Terrell goes down the short side. Certainly had the door shut in their face there.
It was Nouchet trying to take it on. He got slammed back.
Ati Sogbe will play it away. This time it's for the replacement, Panverne.
Away! White, leave it!
Castro Ferreira is over it, but his scrum half's not going to let him play it as it's away with Nouchet. Again, Italy drive them back and get the turnover, but the referee not happy.
Number 6 off feet playing the ball.
It's gone against Berlesi.
Off feet playing the ball. But I think Italy
6 on the ground,
be happy giving away 3 points than 7. It was building, unless the captain decides to go into the corner, which he probably will. 2 minutes to go, why not? So Rafi pops it in. Decision was made by, well, probably the forwards. We want this. We want 7 points or 5 at least. Nouchet smashed back by his opposite number.
Time's off.
Odyssey, and just build.
Okay. It's all good. What's that? Time's off. Time's off.
Clutch of the wrist from Alessandro Josi.
Okay. Time back on.
Line out is going to go straight down off the top. The set move, looking to move it back to the front and catch Italy napping. They drive over the top, but is the ball grounded?
Yeah, so do I. I've got advantage.
Advantage being played. Bodies on the line for Italy. Drive that time by Liu Fu.
Can you see if you can find a number?
But he was stopped.
I don't have a clear number.
Referee's looking for a yellow card here.
Certainly Ian Tempest has been asked in the background to check who has transgressed. So they try and go again. It's admirable stuff from Italy, but now they're going to put a little bit more width on it. Who's it going to be, the man to crash through? Deportel. Wrapped up once more. It's valiant stuff from Italy. They are under a penalty advantage, though.
Yeah, okay.
And Terrell is
time off, please.
Swiftly running with the referee.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, agree. Okay.
Calling them in from the far side to say a lot of momentum, and I think you're right, Dowie.
We should check it.
Maybe seeing a card.
Yeah.
The touch judge is advising, and he's absolutely right.
Time off, please.
Here we go, listening.
Tempo, we're checking potential foul play and also, sorry, penalty try against White.
Yeah, get the angles now for you, mate.
Penalty try against White. Gosh, okay.
Well, Owen Cross is the man who has advised the look. Referee was certainly aware of it.
Well, we will see. But again, they did stop just after that.
Show you, mate, is
found the big
the actions number 1, and then I think
France
the wide
under 20s
angle, so you can see the momentum going into in goal.
Perfect.
We will listen in and watch.
Yeah. That's fine with me.
So number 1's there now.
Yep.
So the set's fine there.
Yeah, great.
And I'll just get you the wide angle, mate.
Okay. Bodies and feet and nothing.
Yeah, a lot of momentum, agreed.
Individualistic.
Yeah, agreed.
I think they're talking about the sack of that maul ultimately.
That's just, I think it's
wide
just a lot
angles
of bodies
coming down,
in
mate,
there
real
and
speed.
pushing down. A fan is the big tight head now, picks the ball up. I think now it just goes to the number 5, Gambini. This is the one here. You can see a fan at the back, number 3.
Okay. Tempo, I'm going to explain what we're seeing down here. So we've got a well set up maul by Blue with pace coming to the try line. Number 1, White's then collapsed it, preventing a probable try. Would you agree with those facts?
Completely agree.
Okay, thank you.
So I think Destiny Ugiagbe Aminu
Collapsing the ball.
He's going to start half-term.
Number one, collapsing and penalty
half-time
try.
a little early. And it's going to be 7 points for France. Well, certainly their forwards' effort in the 22 was looking very strong, but it takes them up to 20 as we approach the end of the first half.
Well, needless to say, the locals are not very happy about that. But again, they've gone through the right protocol. The referee, Ruben Keane, using Ian Tempest, and the touch judge. But if that young gentleman there, Amino, hadn't brought it down, a try would have been scored, a probability that would have been scored. So they went through the procedure and the protocol, and that's what they've come up with. Like I said, the locals don't like that, but there again, they wouldn't.
Absolutely monstrous boot from Ati Sogbe from inside his 22. Almost made it a 50-22, but it is kept infield with a little bit of ping-pong. Now that one's gone aerial. And it's tapped back.
So, say again.
But I think we're not going to have a penalty going to France here, because I think Zachary Afan is guilty of being in an offside position.
Number 3.
The touch judge is getting back into the good books of the crowd. You have to retreat 10 metres. So
offside.
Afan was deemed that he had moved within 10 metres, hence
Thanks, mate, thank you.
the result has been changed, so it gives now free play in a sense, because the time is up into the red, but you will have time for this line out.
I say the crowd in the little bar to the corner over there will be sucking that ball as close to the try line as possible.
Well, the 14-man of Italy now, can they provide something for that crowd to cheer? They've done so well in this first 40. They've just been hurt by that penalty try.
They will now be missing the 121 kilos of Nigerian-born Aminu. Certainly, if they can get Gallerini on the ball. Oh, the referee is
outside shoulder.
Eagle-eyed on that.
Scrum or line out. No, we have to play the scrum or line out. Scrum or line out. No, we have to play
go to scrum, get the ball and get the ball out and get in the shed and have a cup of tea on a cold evening.
Is that us or them?
Okay. Time off, please. Substitutions.
So now we have to have the change, of course.
So we have to play the not straight throw.
Italy will have to surrender a player, so they've got the requisite front row.
I understand, thank you. We must play the scrum.
Rules being rules, but is the law an ass? I don't know. It's just basically...
Certainly one of those moments
Number
where
8.
it will feel a little absurd that Samuele Tade is going to come on for one scrum, then the ball will be kicked into touch and he can come in for half-time. But such it is, and Tade will come on, and the player to make way will be Matteo Rubinato, Italy's last try scorer.
Rules are rules. Don't follow them at your peril, but again, I'm sure, unless you want the Gallic flair, and they'll go 80 metres and score one of those incredible tries.
Or who's to say that Italy won't win this against the head?
Well,
me, I think I'll say.
7 forwards against 8. That's a very enticing blindside.
Time on. Crouch. Bind. Set.
It is collapsing. It's going to come back for Terrell. He won't hang around. Into the stands it goes. Well, an absolutely engrossing first half in Treviso. As Italy go out and score themselves 3 tries, France managed to hit back through the boot of Terrell, a try from Moustin. But then, in terms of reflecting that first half, a decisive penalty try has allowed the visitors to keep their noses in front as they go in and warm up at half-time. Barlesi, Gallerini and Rubinato, the try scorers for Italy. Moustin for France at half-time. It's Italy 17, France 20.